Project 95. Rolling. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. So coming off 2 days, two of not my best days. I had one of my best days on October 11th, 1995. Compton, Terrace, Phoenix, Arizona. I said in the initial post, I've thought this through. This is not a rash decision. It's obviously 30 years in the making. It's not like I said it leaving the show, right? It's been 30 years of listening to the show and listening to literally hundreds of other shows. This is a top 25 Phish show of all time. And I'm not even going to apologize for it. It's top to bottom. It's near perfect. Near perfect. Everything about it. And again, I've removed myself from the immediacy of it, right? It's been 30 years since this show. So I've factored out all of the 2 days off that I've fumbled, basically, leading to this. So like there was at the time this euphoric, this Phish therapy kind of thing. I'm like, I need the show to just sort of, reset and, cheer me up, and reunite with Spencer and Chris, and just everything is sort of like, okay, now it's back to normal, basically. But it's not back to normal. It's better than normal, because they came out with this absolute scorcher in Arizona, of all places, which is hot. So it's also scorching there. You look at Compton Terrace, doesn't look like much. That's one of my favorite pics, is of that, the Compton Terrace sign. It just looks so just desolate. And unfortunately that venue has since closed, but it was part of like a raceway. It's like that. There's that one shot of the Compton Terrace raceway. And the venue was basically, it was like Summer Pops in San Diego, but without the water. just dirt. It was just desert. It was just a stage, and then just this flat patch of desert. But this show is remarkable. From the opener, they open with Stash, right? Which is, that's, I want to say, pretty rare. And it's just this blistering Stash, this blistering 95 Stash. Fishman is doing ungodly things to his hi-hat throughout this song. It's a fantastic opener. And you can tell that the band is in this the band is in one of their more playful, just sort of like wink wink, nudge nudge moods. Because after Stash and after my old home place, my bad, and after Acoustic Army, Trey says that song was brought to you live in concert. Kept saying that. So they were probably feeling good coming off the 2 days off. Who knows what they did in those 2 days? They probably didn't basically get lost in Yellowstone and then have to drive 15 hours the next day. I'm gonna roll the dice that they didn't do that. But this show erased every bad decision, headache, long drive that I had to make for the rest of the year, basically. Just so good. The energy, every song, just snappy, boom, boom, boom. The tempo, the pace, it's remarkable that people don't talk about this show. I don't think people even know about it. And I'm looking through the top 100, whatever, they have that list. It's like user ratings. There aren't even at barely, besides New Year's Eve 95, there's like barely any 95s represented in there. It's just no love for this tour, let alone this show. The Stash is, I don't even know what to say about this show because it's so good and fucking nobody, like, it should be, everybody should know 12 or 10, 11, 95. Everybody. They do this smoke show Stash, and I know smoke show means hot girl. I'm reclaiming the word because it's much more appropriate for certain Phish songs and Phish shows. Old Home Place in the 2-hole, a 3-hole cavern. That's, again, these 95, just like just like then a Divided Sky, perfect at its home, mid-first set, perfect Divided Sky. Then they dial it back, If I Could, which is, I've talked about, they have their sort of song categories. This is obviously a ballad, but this is the ballad if you're gonna pick ballads. This, or like Mountains in the Mist, or like, you know, there's a handful that are just better than the other ones. If I Could, Fog That Surrounds, still with Trey. So now they're in this Trey Phish alternating those lyrics. Don't love this iteration. They didn't either because it would change. But what's missing in my re-listen to this, what's missing is the what is now the opening to Taste, which is that whole passage where Trey sings, I'm up and I can take what you give and I'm here, but I don't want you to live with me. Like, that's not even in the song. So the next mutation is, I think, adding that and mixing it with Fishman's verses. So they're still playing with this first mutation. The song part is still it's still Taste or Fog or whatever you want to call it. It's still nice. And then an Acoustic Army and a Julius that kind of gets you. Julius is Character Zero before Character Zero. It's 1995's Character Zero. And it's that song that is just, yeah, it's an anthem-y, right? And one that they build and they can peak and they can just kind of shred, I guess. And they use it kind of in the same way as they use like Character Zero. There's probably other songs in that category too, but this one, for some reason, just like boom, boom, boom. And then Sample Closer, I guess, is the one thing you might be able to be like, I mean, they could have closed it out a little better than that, but I'll take it. dude, I'm listening to this Possum right now. Like all of this is just leading to the second set. Trey's sitting on this note for a minute, literally. This second set is it's just jaw-dropping how good it is. There were no trampolines on mics. I don't know if you knew that. This is a top 5 Possum all time, period. And this is just, I don't even know what to say about it. I'm giddy with how good this show is. The intro to Possum is fun. Again, Trey's like smacking his guitar around. They do like several like false starts. And I totally forgot this until I was playing it. They play Bathtub Gin. And I feel like I don't get too much into like Type 2 and all that kind of stuff, but it just wasn't really talked about in 1995. But if you listen to this Bathtub Gin, it definitely has some early Type 2 moves that it typically didn't have. Bathtubs in 95 and prior kind of had, they kind of kept it tight. This one kind of goes some places. Then they do Mound, and you still don't even know what's coming. The Mike's McGrupp Weekapog is just I can't. They grind mics down. This is one of my favorite Phish moments, and it's probably not, but I want to say it's unique to them. They grind this mics down to almost nothing, and they're like barely playing. And there are moments in Phish shows. It's not every Phish show, but every once in a while you get lucky, and you get to these. They're not even lulls, but you get to these moments where you're in musical limbo. They're not playing. So this one, they're not playing mics anymore necessarily. They're not really playing anything, but they're playing, and something else is coming. Right? Those moments where they're playing but not playing, and you're just sort of in this like what this world of possibilities is running through your head, like, oh, what's it gonna be? And you can go by the notes that they've been playing, like where are they going. The moment, this is one of those moments, they grind this mics down to almost nothing, and then you hear it's silent. They're tinkering around. You can hear a little audience, kind of like the suspense of what's coming. And then you hear the first notes of whatever. In this case, it's fucking McGrupp. Like, and it's like that moment of they're not playing something, then they are playing something, and it's the first, like, just the opening notes of whatever song coming out of those meltdowns. Is that feeling is unmatched. It's an unmatched musical experience. So they're grinding this mics down to nothing, and then it's like, and then you hear just nothing, and everybody's like, what is it? And I'm like, fucking McGrupp, They crush this McGrupp. Then they jump back in this Weekapog, and now they're just raging. And you can see, it's interesting, I didn't write this down. They kind of tease this llama coming out of this Weekapog. Trey starts playing the riff for llama, but then they don't really go there. It's almost like, hey, guys, we could easily make this jump. And then there's like a couple minutes before they start playing llama. So they totally tease it. The Susie is, again, like that cavern, just like, yeah. Boom, punchy. And then Trey starts teasing Sunshine of Your Love, starts teasing Crossroads. Then they play Crossroads for the first time since 1993. They drop Crossroads and kind of resurrect it. They brought it back. They played it a handful of times on this tour. And at this point, it's dizzying, like what's happening. And then Ragtime Gal, Day in the Life, not the encore. Encore is Chalk Dust. So it's just, there's no holes here. I wouldn't change a note of this show. And again, people are like, I don't know. What show? 10, 11, 95. Don't sleep on it. It's just the Mike's McGrupp Weekapog after that Possum Bathtub Mound opener, that sequence, like, stop yourself. So it's just, there's also this was the medicine I needed, basically, to just sort of revitalize, recharge my battery. And yes, we started selling grilled cheeses. Yeah. But I'll get into that on the side quests, because it's the day off tomorrow. I mentioned this in the other video, but Adams Fieldhouse, the Missoula show that I hated, just happened to be sandwiched in between arguably the two best shows of the entire tour, New Year's and Halloween included. So that didn't necessarily help. But there's a day off because the next show's in Fort Worth. Another crazy drive, but they gave us that day off. And I'll have a side quest post for that tomorrow. But this one is, if you listen to nothing else in this whole endeavor, go listen to this show. This is 1995. Yep. If you want a taste of what 1995 Phish was like, listen to this show start to finish, and you will not be disappointed. So I'll see you guys out in Fort Worth, Texas in a couple days on the 13th, 10/13/95. But hopefully I'll see you tomorrow on the side quest too. Listen to this one. Just do it.